If you're running an e-commerce brand and your cart or checkout abandonment looks anything like this, then you're doing something incredibly wrong and it's costing you a lot. And if you can't tell what's wrong with this image, that is exactly the problem. So I'm going to break it down because we just generated $112,000 from our abandoned checkout flow for one client in the span of 30 days. And so I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same, because this setup right here is the old way of doing things. But in 2026, things have changed. And so it doesn't come down to timing or filters. It comes down to the way that this is built out. I'm going to build it live with you so you can see how easy it is and walk over the psychology of why this works so well. So let me jump into it. So I promise this is not me overcomplicating things. This is what your flow looks like right now, and it probably looks identical compared to the cart abandonment, so I'm just going to show you this one. Now, there's a few things wrong with this, but before I show you what's wrong, take a look at what the correct setup is supposed to look like. And I promise this is not me trying to overcomplicate things. This is how a flow should look for the abandonment series. I'm going to explain exactly why and show you how simple it is. So first is focus on what's actually wrong with this email. So first thing is obviously you have the correct trigger, correct filters, etc., etc. You're making sure there's no overlap compared to the cart abandonment and checkout abandonment, so they're not getting duplicate emails. You probably have that set up already. Then you probably have a time delay that's a little bit more aggressive for your checkout flow because you've seen all your favorite gurus talk about that. But what you're still doing is you're still sending an email that is a, hey, did you forget something? But a checkout abandonment and cart abandonment, they didn't forget anything. They took an additional move that makes them a high intent customer and something pushed them away. So they didn't just forget something. They saw something they didn't like, or they didn't trust you enough, or their shipping times and shipping costs put them off. And that's what you need to counter. Then you wait 4 hours and you send them the next email and you usually throw in a discount, which is in theory fine. But the issue with this entire flow is not the emails. It's not the context of the emails. The issue with the entire flow is the fact that you are sending this to everyone. So right now you're just sending this to every single person, regardless of if they've come back and bought from you before. So let's say that I am a new customer. I come in, I abandon my checkout. Obviously, you want to send them some messaging that's going to make them cross over the line, like that discount code down here. Fair enough. But if I am a repeat customer, right? Let's say I've bought from you multiple times. And this month, I was meant to just refill my order, but then, something came up. Whatever it is, maybe I did get distracted, or maybe the pricing looked a little bit different this month and I no longer have that discount. And so I leave. But now you're going to send me the same offer continuously. Even if I bought from this email before, I'm going to get a repeat eventually in like 2 months' time when I abandon my offer. So this entire email is incorrect because it's going to the same people. Whereas the way that it's supposed to be is a few things. First of all, when we think about the cart abandonment and the checkout abandonment, there's different reasons for abandonment, right? And very rarely is it that they got distracted. That is very often not the case. It is usually a case of buyer's remorse, not liking the shipping cost, not trusting you enough, etc. And that differs per customer. So if it's a repeat buyer, of course they've trusted you already. And so you don't have to send them, hey, here's where you should trust us, here's all of our reviews. You have to send them something different. Whereas your first time customer needs to see reviews, they need to know your shipping times, and they need to understand your product a little bit more. And so that's why in the abandonment series, you want to separate it based on whether they placed an order before. So if they have placed an order at least once before, then you want to make sure they're getting a different set of messaging. So like, hey, you're back for another round, your order is almost ready. Then people that are purchasing for the first time, you need to say, hey, your order is ready to ship. And then show them what they left behind, show them reviews, and do not put any other products. You just want to show them trust factor, show them those reviews, and that's literally it. Then you want to wait like 4 hours, and then you want to introduce the offer as usual. But the difference here is you want to show an us first them, and you want to add a bit of urgency. So like a 3-hour urgency, or you can throw the 3 hours in over here. Whereas for this one, you're not giving them an offer because you've given them one before. They've probably been in the series before. We don't want to keep pushing offers down their throat. Otherwise, they're going to keep strategically abandoning checkout because you've taught them to do exactly that. Otherwise, they can just reuse their code. So the idea is you have to use this code as a once-off per customer. And if you do have that and they keep getting this email sequence, they're going to wonder why the code's not working. So you want to make sure you kind of mitigate that. You want to show products that they left behind, show them what they purchased before, so as a dynamic product block, and then you also want to make sure that you're talking about routine, you're talking about habit, you're not showing a discount. You're showing instead, this is our most reordered, this is what is back in stock, this pairs perfectly with your last order. So you want to start doing things like that, rather than trying to push something down their throat that doesn't make sense. So for example, you already trust this brand, you know the product, and the reviews and everything are a little bit less important. So the objections are different now. Instead of not trusting you, not liking the cost, wondering about shipping, the new objection is, do I need this right now? Can I wait until later? Should I buy something else instead? Am I missing a better offer? So that's the thinking around this. And it applies to both the checkout and the cart abandonment. So the structure is basically the same, but obviously the messaging within the emails will be slightly different. So let me show you a build out for the cart abandonment series to make sure that you're building it out correctly, because there's a few filters you have to set. So let's go in here, and here you can see the live pool of those analytics that I was talking about on this account. So we're going to use this account as an example. So over here, and by the way, I do have a separate case study about this account. If you have any interest in seeing that, you can go to my YouTube. But from here, you can see, okay, this is the abandoned checkout email. And what we want to do is we want to build a new one. So go to create flow. You're going to come over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to build our own. We do not want to use theirs, right? And you can do this with AI. I'm just going to build it manually so you can see. So let's do cart test. So this is the cart abandonment, not the checkout abandonment, but you can use the same thinking and I guess application for the checkout abandonment. So here, again, this is a cart abandonment, so we're not going to choose this. We're going to say added to cart, right? And we're going to make sure that we're using added to cart on Shopify. So first up, we want to allow re-entry after a specific amount of days. I like 10 days specifically. Then we want to add some profile filters. So you can see checkout started 0 times, and we want to say what someone has done, placed order 0 times since starting the flow. So we don't want to say over all time, we want to say since starting the flow, because what's going to happen is throughout the flow, they're going to get kicked out as soon as they place an order. So we don't have to continuously add these filters. So let me just make sure this saves, make sure that saves, and we're confirming. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the time delay. All right. And the time delay is going to be, let's say, minutes. We're going to make this 35 minutes. All right. So 35 minutes is a really sweet spot time. And here we're going to add a conditional split. The conditional split is what someone has done, placed an order at least once over all time. You can also say person has been in the flow at least once over all time. But we're just going to say has placed an order at least once over all time. Okay. And so if they have placed an order at least once before, then we want to send them the non-discount offers, right? So we're going to put an email here. And here is our normal set of emails that you're used to. This is going to be the, hey, you left this behind and blah, blah, blah. But the winning subject line for this is always, or order is ready to ship, right? With this little box. So we're just going to save that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add another time delay. And by the way, with this, you want to turn off recently emailed profiles. Make sure you keep UTM tracking on, right? And here we are going to wait 4 hours. Okay. Whereas on the yes side, the people that have purchased before, we don't want to be too urgent with them since they know our process and they, we've emailed them before. And so here we're going to wait 1 day, and then we're going to add our second email. Second email over here is we introduce the offer. All right. So get 15% off. We ship. All right. Something like that is perfect. And then on the yes side. All right. So this is the no side. So they've never placed an order with us, so we want to send them what we used to. This is going to be the, hey, you forgot something. Hey, here's a discount, and here's your last call for that discount, right? So let's leave it as this for now. The yes people, the people that have placed an order with us before, this is a little bit less urgent, but we still want to turn off skip profiles. And here, instead, what we're going to say is looking for something new, or looking to refill, or running low, something like that, right? And so these people, we don't want to give them an offer, and we want to change our approach. And so instead, the context of this email is going to look entirely different, right? So we don't want to send them the same messaging. So if we go back here, you can see the breakdown per email is as follows. The first email is going to be showing them what they left behind. Super simple. So if we go into the actual setup of the email, let's go to setup. So let's select a template and let's just go and create a new one. All right. And so with this setup, this is for the yes people. These people have purchased before, right? So let's go and just pretend that we're building this out. Obviously not going to build out the full thing, but we'll have our hero visual here. Let's just select a random image. So let's go. This is going to be a random image. Of course, this is not going to be the hero that we use, but then what we'll do is we're going to add a product section. And over here, we want a dynamic product section. And we can also create one. So we can create a dynamic feed. So let's just call this cart feed. Right? And this is going to be products the customer has added to cart. If the customer has limited history, what should we say? We should show our best sellers over the last 90 days. All right. And then we can choose whether we wanted to filter anything specific. But now this is going to pull the products that they specifically left behind. Right? And over here, we want to make sure that we're adding the correct button. So I've already saved this section. But for example, we're just going to go here. And it's going to be finish your order. And it will redirect us to the right place. So this is visually just the way that you want this. And ideally, you do want a review section or something. So let's just put this, right? So you do want a review section. And that is going to do everything that you need. You're going to show exactly what they left behind, super simple call to action, and then show some reviews. This is immediately the best email that you can send. And over here, you want to add a little bit of context. So maybe here you want to say that these are the products that you've previously purchased, you know, whatever it is. So let's go and add this. Let's go. Okay, I'm not sure why it's glitching, so I'll just leave it as is. And then we're going to add personalization, first name, going to make the right structure, and say friend as a default. Right. So, hey friend, we know. Great to see you're looking to refill your order. And this one down. To make it easier for you, we have your products packed below, so you just easily head back to the check page. PS, we also figured we'd show you some products that pair well with them. All right, so we can easily go ahead and do that. And then we can go and create another product image or dynamic product block and show them. All right, so this will essentially look pretty much identical across the two emails with changing in wording and everything on the hero visual. But this is basically how your email will look on the first email, right? Let's go show them exactly what they left behind, and then you're going to do the same thing over here. So literally it took me less than 5 minutes to set up that email, set up the structure of everything, and then obviously you can keep building on. Now, if I were you, the best way to make sure that this is a high-performing email is to run a split test on this email. And what I would do is I would make sure you do this on both. So especially to people that have never purchased before, it's their first time getting this email. You want to run a split test, like a plain text split test, which I'll do over here. So let's just go ahead and do a split test and make this one a text-only version. This performs incredibly well, and it will really give you a good idea of what customers are responding to. So for example, this is email 1. We're going to keep it as an image, but this one, we want to actually change nothing else, but we do want to make it text only. So we're going to come over here, and we're now going to go and make it text only. So here is where we will say, hey, good to see you back. So you took a look at some products. So just wanted to easier for you to head to check out the team is packing stuff right now. And we've gone ahead and let's just say it's just right now, and you can keep this super short. Head back to, or let's say complete your order here. And the reason why this works is because you've already made a micro commitment. You've gone all the way. It's kind of like this guilty buy-in where you're like, hey, well, true, their team is already packing all my stuff. I can't really pull out now. And make it seem simple. Make it seem like, well, you've already kind of secured your order, so you may as well just complete this. So what we would do is we would add a link and we would go back to the checkout page, right? And so you can always play around with personalization. And you can add, for example, a specific product or a ID or something. So unique product ID, whatever it is you want to do that you want to populate here. Or you can insert, right? So you can show some specific things, but for right now, all we're doing is we're saying complete your order here. And if I were you, I'd go copy paste the link that you have from your cart and checkout link button, copy that link on the button and then paste it over here as a link. So you would arguably say, let's just say that botanicals checkout, right? So that's what we would essentially put here, and then it will redirect you. So all looks good here, and thanks, founder. Right, so we can just say something like that. So super short, simple email. Obviously you want to maybe make it a little bit lengthier, say something along the lines of something else, but this overall setup is going to be the absolute best setup for your email marketing. It's a cart abandonment that is way more strategic. You're not sending random code to people that have already used it. And now you have different messaging per customer, and you can see how easy it was. Just basically duplicate the messaging from your existing one and change it up a little bit. It's that simple. Go and get your design team to recreate something. This is what we build for our clients, and this is exactly how we've been able to generate the revenue that we have from a checkout abandonment flow. And notice that it doesn't even compare to our welcome flow, because if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that it's not supposed to be a high performing flow. So let's just take a look. April, you can see 111,000 from the abandoned checkout. And because we use retention.com and instant audiences, we also get incredible results from this. And the cart abandonment, also incredible results. So yeah, you can see that we're actively running A/B tests as of the 12th of May, etc., etc. So we're really, really constantly innovating for our clients. So if you want this kind of setup, you want an agency to come in and do this for you and just run your email marketing where you can reliably rely on the fact that we're generating tons of revenue month over month, then go down below, book in a call. We would love to work with you if you're doing at least $50,000 per month. But with that being said, otherwise just subscribe. We're going to do a ton more videos like this, straight to the point, showing you exactly why we set things up the way that we do and showing you what's incorrect with your current setup. So I'll see you in the next one, but I hope that was valuable.